Maybe it's just me. But welcome to the show. I want to welcome everyone to the two-man front with BZ Sports Entertainment and the objectively biased one, the Thog. We are going to be here to talk about the hottest topics of the NFL and college football here today. And I'm here with the Fog. My name is BZ Brian Maduro. And Fog, I wanted to get the intro out the way first, but I wanted to show everyone this crazy stat I saw. Like I literally just saw it like 2 minutes ago, right? And we're both college football junkies, right? So I wanted to show this real quick because I don't know, and maybe it's just me. Maybe this is not as impressive. I think it is, but check this stat. Like check this crazy stat out. Randy Moss. Everybody knows who Randy Moss is, obviously. In my opinion, he is the GOAT. And I verified this. Okay. So because I was like, ain't no way this happened. It's true. It's absolutely true. You can verify it for yourself as well. I verified this. Take a look at this crazy stat. I might do a stat of the day every single time we come on here because like this blew my mind. Take a look at this. Randy Moss. And I don't know why this is so wild to me, right? He never played a college game where he didn't score. I was like, no, I was like, that can't be true. Like, I was like, what? No way. So that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. Like, but then I went to go look at it. I was like, oh, right? He really did. He really, every game this man played, he scored a touchdown. Right. Unless I looked the stats up incorrectly, which I don't think I did.
54 fuck the fact 54 touchdowns in 28 games.
That's insane. That's insane. This is why I call Randy Moss the GOAT. People look, Jerry Rice.
That's almost 2 touchdowns a game.
Jerry Rice, fantastic, amazing. If you call him the GOAT, I won't really argue with you. I really won't.
Holy shit.
This is my GOAT at wide receiver. Okay, everybody says Randy Moss is the greatest receiver I've ever seen in my lifetime. I understand that Jerry Rice may have been more technically sound. I get all that. I really do. But don't tell me this man, like, plus Randy Moss could run his routes. People want to say he couldn't run routes. He could run his routes.
No, he absolutely could run his routes.
But this stat was like, whoa. No, and look, I showed this stat to somebody else, and they were like, "Oh, well, he played against. It was at Marshall. I think Marshall was actually a Division I double A team at the time. They weren't at BS. I don't know what conference. I think they're in Conference USA now. I don't know what they were back then, but that doesn't matter to me. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. There are some stats that are just blow your mind, no matter what division they play in. That's my stat of the day. That's one of the reasons why Randy Moss to me is the GOAT and will continue to be the GOAT. In my opinion,
stat of the year. I need to find out if there was any other player that in 28 games did even remotely close to that.
Nah. I didn't look into it that deep because I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys. But yeah, that was a wild. I saw that. So I was like, oh, I gotta share this one.
There wasn't a game that he didn't score. I'm looking at the 54 like.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it didn't add up. It was 54 to 28. Like, that's literally 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, we look the game log. It's close to that. It's very close. He had a couple games. We had 4 touchdowns. So like, he was doubling it up during the game. So wild. Don't forget, guys, leave your comments below. We love when you guys are engaged with us. It makes the show a lot more fun. Makes it go a lot more smoother. We will read all your comments. Please engage with us, and we will definitely make sure you get on the show. And we make sure you are heard, right? You want to make sure you're heard. And also subscribe to both of our pages, BZ Sports and Sports Entertainment, and of course, particularly Bias Sports, and of course, our YouTube channel of the Two-Man Front, where you can go back and rewatch some of the episodes, right? So, again, another interesting week in the world of football, and particularly in the NFL. Fog. I mean, we all know what the headliner was. Like the headlining game was obviously Dallas and the 49ers. We'll get to that. But, as always, we got to start with our winners and losers.
Yes.
Because there are always some winners and losers in life. And obviously, there were a lot in week 5. Right? So let's start with our winners. As always, we want to start off on a positive note. Fog, who is your first winner?
My first winner is the Cincinnati Bengals. They finally looked like a football team. Joe Burrow actually looked competent. He actually looked healthy. I don't want to say competent. He actually looked
You look
healthy
healthy.
in this game. And it reflected because he had a very good game. The Cincinnati Bengals had a very good game, albeit against the Arizona Cardinals. But you got to start somewhere, right? And this could be the beginning of the Bengals getting back on track. We may look back at this game, 7, 8 weeks from now, and the Bengals are in the hunt with Baltimore for that division, and we go, wow, that game was the turning point. That game saved the Cincinnati Bengals season and that performance by Burrow and Chase.
Yeah, it was kind of. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. I think I picked the Cardinals to win this game because they're a tough out, right? And they're one of the tougher teams. I mean, they're not a good team by any means, but they're one of the tougher teams that are in the league right now. And I didn't think they would actually explode in this game, but I was expecting them to play a little better. I thought they were going to go. I thought they were going to go back home and really kind of exploding for Cincinnati, but Jamar Chase went off in this game. Went off, and Joe Burrow did look a lot healthier than he's looked all year. So that's a good thing. That's obviously a good thing for the Bengals. And look, they you said they saved their season. They saved their season. Honestly, one of my losers actually kind of helped them as well, but we'll get to that in a minute. But let me get to one of my winners. A winner that we kind of talked about him a little bit last night. He kind of hijacked.
Oh yes, listen, go check out the game-winning drive.
Yeah.
I'm a co-host on that with my man Alex Cohagen and my man Drew Trammell. Brian was on there with us last night, and we had hella fun on there.
A lot of fun last night, and we talked about this man, a true winner in life, and that's Gardner Minshew is my winner. All right, here's why. Right? Okay, look. I may have been a little overzealous last night by saying Gardner Minshew was a top 15 quarterback. Probably not top 15, but damn it, he's probably top 20. You probably can't name 20 or 21 better quarterbacks than Gardner Minshew. You probably could name 20. But Gardner Minshew is my winner in this one because look, all he does is come in and spell for Anthony Richardson and win. Right? That's all he has done this year. He has come in for Anthony Richardson and won pretty much, I believe, every game he's played in this year. And look, his numbers look great. I think he is a starting quarterback in this league. I don't know why. Well, at this point, if you're the Colts, you're not getting rid of him because you need him. Because personally, I think Anthony Richardson may be out for a while. In my opinion, I think they should. We'll get to that in a little bit. But you can't trade him now because honestly, you're in the hunt. You're in the hunt at least for the AFC South title. I believe I don't know what the records are right now, but the Texans, I believe, are at least 2-3. The Titans are still in it. The Jaguars are still in it. That division, all of a sudden, is somewhat kind of close. And I think it's probably going to come down to the wire, possibly. Whoever wins maybe 9-10 games wins that division. I think Gardner Minshew, can get that. Look, he's a winner. He's my Week 5 winner, and he's just been proven a winner at least this year and also in the past. Man, like I'm shocked a team like the New York Jets didn't hop on him as soon as Rodgers went down. Right, as soon as Rodgers went down, I was very surprised they didn't go and get him, but they felt like they were comfortable. I was even surprised the Patriots didn't get him as a backup just in case. Yeah. Right, I was really surprised. But look, the Colts have their guy at least for this year. At least for this year, the Colts have their guy, and honestly, may have saved their season. Next up, who's your next winner, Fogg?
My next winner is I'm going to keep it with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going with Jamar Chase, man.
Got you.
Again, 19 targets, 15 receptions, 192 yards, and he did like what's his name? George Kittle did. No touchdowns all season. Boom, explodes, gets 3 touchdowns in one game. He said, I'm open. Well, he was open. Get him the damn ball. Just throw him the damn ball. It's the only game. This is only the second game out of these first 5 games where he was targeted in double digits. Only to say so that's kind of weird to me because you didn't stop targeting him last year.
Right.
So why are you slowing down on the targets now? So hopefully they're just going to keep going at him and lighten it up. But like I said, Jamar Chase, that performance, 192 yards, 15 receptions, over 12 yards per reception and 3 touchdowns. That fantastic performance. He hell of a winner.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he called himself 7-11 because he really is always open. He definitely proved that in this game. He is always open. Jamar Chase, in my opinion, for the first 2 years of his career, one of the best. I felt like was the best receiver in football. I felt like he was the best receiver in the NFL. Obviously, he's taking a step back. Quarterback's hurt. I think this may have jump started him in his season
Yes.
already, and I think they're on the right track. I think they finally have found their groove. My winner for week 5, not Gardner Minshew. It's the Steelers defense, man. Look, I know I have been very bullish on Kenny Pickett, which I still am. Matt Canada needs to get fired, obviously. But the way this defense is just continuing to save our asses every single week.
And Watt is balling
2
out.
turnovers. You said what?
Watt is balling.
He's in my opinion right now, defensive player of the year. It's between him and Fred Warner. Those are the guys right now. Him and Fred Warner are neck and neck. Maybe Michael Parsons gets himself back in. He didn't even have a great game against the Niners. Maybe Joey Bosa comes back in the mix. I don't know. But right now, the best defensive player in the league right now is between TJ Watt and Fred Warner. I'm obviously going to pick Watt. It'd be a little biased. It's my team. But he's just his plays are just timely. That's what separates for me. That's what separates Watt from everybody. His plays are so timely, right? And 2 turnovers in the final 6 minutes, and we scored 10 points off those turnovers to literally win the game, right? And then you get the game-winning sack on Lamar Jackson in this heated rivalry game. It's just one of those things, man, where like I'm just super appreciative that this season could be easily disastrous because of how bad our defense or how bad our offense is, but we're 3-2. We don't feel like we're 3-2, but we're 3-2, and that is definitely off the strength of honestly one of the best defenses in the league, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. So now those are my winners. They were my losers last week, and now they're back in my winner circle. And it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard to like not root for my team because of how great our defense is, but at the same time, it's really, really easy not to because how trash Matt Canada is. So like it's one of those things. It's just one of those things that I'm having a hard time. Or like kind of balancing. All right, as we all know, with losers, of course, with winners, of course, there are obviously losers, right? Fog, who's your first loser? Your first loser of week 5.
My first loser, this is a public service announcement brought to you by Objectively Biased Sports and the Two Man Front podcast. And it's sponsored by the number 27. Yes, because after Sunday night's performance, it will now be 27 years since the Dallas Cowboys last sniffed the Super Bowl. They're my first loser. You got your ass completely handed to you. You got dog walked across that football field. 42-10. After all the bravado, all the conversation about, hey, we got to go in there, we got to show out. Man, if you play down to the competition in Arizona, your ass laid down to San Francisco and just let them boys by the bay spank you. It was ugly. There's no way Dallas can be taken seriously at this point. They're going to win. They have a good team. They're going to win. But you can't take them serious because San Francisco owns them. And Dallas just has Dallas and Dak, for whatever reason, when the lights are the brightest, they cave.
Yep.
It's horrible. They cave, and everyone talk about Micah Parsons and defense, and look at what this defense is. This defense is a finesse defense. They get smacked in the mouth by smash mouth football. They can't handle it. Micah Parsons had 4 total tackles, no QB hits, had no sacks,
He
and
was a no-show.
three of his 4 tackles were assisted. So outside of the quarterback, I'm sorry, who were you tackling? Because it wasn't 49er players.
Micah Parsons. I mean, for all the like, for all the Lawrence Taylor, for all the Lawrence Taylor comparisons, and I'm not gonna say they're warranted. I'm not gonna say they're not warranted because look, he's a great player. But if there was ever a game you needed to be Lawrence Taylor, it was this one, and he wasn't even close to that. Like he didn't even sniff Lawrence Taylor's jockstrap. Nothing, right? Like so, it was yeah, this is pretty bad game. Pretty bad game. We'll get to this in a minute. I'm gonna get to my losers now. So my first loser, man, unfortunately, I'm kind of hurt by this too, is Anthony Richardson.
Oof, yeah.
And man, I put up something on my page about some of the ailments. I should have brought it up. I forgot to bring it up, but I mean, he's just taking a beating. And you know what I've said? I've said about this. Injuries pile up on injuries, and when you're not ready to come back, I've always felt like you're compensating or overcompensating other parts of your body, and you're risking more injury.
Yeah.
So I just feel like they need to shut him down. Personally, shut him down at least until he is fully healthy. If he's not fully healthy, then don't touch him. He should not touch the field. Like, because he has an ankle, he has the shoulder. I believe he had the concussion. He had the toe. I think he had I don't know, a bruised knee or something. Like, the guy is just continuing to get hurt. And we're only 5 weeks into his NFL career. It's now people are saying he needs to change his style of play. I don't think he does, but I do believe that they need to make sure that he, one, gets out of bounds and slides more, right? Or he's not going to have a career. Like,
yeah,
it kind of does suck because it's hard to watch because I obviously was a huge on him coming out of the draft.
I don't remember him getting hurt this much in Florida.
I don't either. I don't either, man. But the NFL, look, they say the NFL's what they stand for. It's called not for long, and it's just a different beast. It's a different beast in the NFL, right? I mean, he was. Look. We never saw him getting hit at Florida because he was just that dynamic. No one could really touch him, right? He was just a man among boys out there, but now he's just one of the boys. He's not a man. I mean, so it's tough to watch. It's tough to watch him continue to pile up on these injuries, man, because he's one of the more fun players to watch, and he was playing well too. It wasn't like he wasn't playing well. When he's in there, they're playing well. So like. I think it may be time to shut him down. In my opinion, it may be time to shut him down.
There's a couple of players that might need to get shut down this year.
Yeah, no, yeah. Fog, last loser.
Oh, my last loser, Jordan Love. I loved you, Jordan, coming out of Utah State. Brian knows how much I loved you, and he bombed me for it. But the reality is, you threw 3 picks with no touchdowns after starting the season off 6 touchdowns, first 2 games against Atlanta and Chicago, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. You looked like you were going to be something, and then in these last 3 games, the interceptions are piling up. You've got 6 interceptions in the last 3 games and only 2 touchdowns, and against the Raiders, the hopeless Raiders, who did everything they could to give you that game, you still blew it. So Jordan Love, after all the hype coming out after those first 2 games, and he looks good, and you were 2-1, you had the comeback win against New Orleans. This game was complete trash. It was a disaster of a game. And you looked every bit what Brian told me you were.
Look, it's more disheartening because he's not a rookie,
No.
right? He's not a rookie. He sat, he watched. I don't know what he was doing the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, he sat, he watched.
He
He's behind a
sat and
Hall of
watched.
Famer.
That's it.
He's
He
Hall of Fame.
didn't. He didn't absorb anything.
He's a Hall of Famer, and it's one of those things where, dude, like, I'm not even. He doesn't even look bad. He just doesn't look like a guy that's confident right now, and it's just one of those situations where I don't know how much time he's actually going to have. Look, I will say this though, a couple things. I do think he's going to have more time than we think because they have been wanting to see him for a while.
Yeah.
Right. So he's probably going to get more, obviously, this year, maybe next year, and then they'll really evaluate. There's still time for him. He's still, he still has more touchdowns than interceptions. He's eight touchdowns, 6 picks, pretty low QBR, 77 passer rating. I think it's completely under 60% of his passes, though.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a problem. That's the biggest issue. He doesn't have the greatest receivers. He doesn't have the greatest receiving core. I get it. I know Aaron Rodgers pretty much took everybody with him, and he's not even playing, right? So, I would like to see what type of help they put around him. Aaron Jones also did not play in that game. That's well worth noting. He didn't have his number one running back behind him to kind of take some pressure off him. There's that. But
and Max Crosby is somebody, not for nothing, that's somebody that needs to be considered up there with the rest of these guys because that man is a terror.
If he didn't play for Oakland or Las Vegas, he would be. But because he plays for such a trash franchise, nobody's really paying attention. But Max Crosby is definitely a bad dude, right? So that's nothing to scoff at either. But look, if there's any consolation for Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers' first year, they went 6-10. He had 28 touchdowns and 13 picks. Now, if he can do that, maybe you're on the right track. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but as of right now, he's doing a lot of this. And Packers fans aren't used to that. Packers fans for the last 20, 21, 24 years, whatever, however long Brett Favre was there and Aaron Rodgers are used to seeing just this. And they're not getting that right now. They're not getting that with Jordan Love. All right, my last loser is a core. It's an actual whole core, and it's this core, the Ravens receiving core. I'm going back to the game where I said my winner were the Steelers defense. Well, I understand the Steelers defense, in my opinion, had nothing to do with the 7 drops that the Ravens had in this very game alone, which is the most drops a team has had since 2013. The interesting part about this is this was supposed to be a better receiving core for Lamar Jackson, right? I'm not even going to sit here and say Lamar Jackson played a perfect game. I watched the entire game, but I'm telling you right now, 2 of those passes were touchdown passes.
Yeah, they were.
2 of those passes were touchdown passes. That game could have been out of reach for us, right? But because the Ravens receiving core is still as poverty as we've ever seen, they lost that game. I'm not mad at it because my team won, but it's just interesting how everybody was saying that, Lamar has his weapons now and he should be good, but they get him Nelson Aguilar. Of all people, they give him Nelson Aguilar. Now, I will say Zay Flowers is actually pretty damn good, right? Hands aren't the greatest, but I like Zay Flowers. I think he's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be pretty good long term. Mark Andrews has the drop C's. A lot of guys, it was just Devin Duvernay.
Was it Aguilar that missed that touchdown?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Right through his hands.
Why is he in the fucking NFL? I hated when Philly drafted him. I don't know how he's still on an NFL team in a starting fucking lineup. That is insanity to me.
I don't know what.
He shouldn't even be on a practice squad.
Or on a WNBA or a WNBA team, apparently, because Keith wants to talk about that.
I wouldn't put him on a WNBA team either.
I don't know what's on that, Keith, but I'll tell you
he dropped the passes. You would have no assists.
The Ravens, that receiving core, and Odell Beckham Jr. There was a talk that Joey Porter, on the fade that Odell threw, and Joey Porter picked it off. He did. Joey Porter apparently said, "Go home, be a family man. It's time for you to go home." And that's kind of man, Odell, he got 16, 17 million this year to be Lamar's number 1 receiver. He's only played 2 games. It's one of those things where I hate. I'm sick and tired of defending Lamar because if the Ravens just did right by him when it came to the players around him, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah.
But they continue to surround him with B and C list talent when it comes to wide receiver, and it's just annoying. It's just super super annoying that they continue to do this. So
See, I thought Bateman with Zay Flowers and Odell as a third option with Andrews there was going to be solid, but Odell can't get on the fucking field. And like I said, I don't know what happened to Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers seems to be the only consistent guy that they've got out there.
and Zay Flowers he's pretty reliable.
Yeah.
He's been pretty reliable. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what happened. I'm not really sure. That was just a terrible game for that by that receiving core. That if there's ever a core, ever a blame on a core,
Yeah.
that lost the
That's
game, it was that one. They lost that game for the Baltimore Ravens.
The entire receiving core was stone hands.
It's great. It's going to be interesting what they do, what move they make. Who knows? In my opinion, I said this yesterday on Game Winning Drive. I forgot what team I said it for. I don't know who I said DeAndre Hopkins should go to. I think somebody. Oh, the Chiefs. Oh,
Chiefs, yeah.
That's
the
it.
Chiefs. It was the Chiefs.
The Chiefs or Ravens should be knocking on the door of the Tennessee Titans and saying, "Is DeAndre Hopkins available?" I don't know why either team didn't go for him. I have no clue. The Titans, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. I think they're gonna have a fire sale very soon anyway. I think they will, and they need DeAndre Hopkins needs to be either a Raven or a Chief very soon here for those teams to move anywhere past either division or the playoffs. All right, so moving forward, right? We got some quarterbacks that are kind of in limbo. Okay, I want to ask this real quick because we talked about Kyler Murray last night, and obviously Dak Prescott was one of the topics, and even Kirk Cousins came up, right? And all three of these guys, it seems like they're going to be on the move. Definitely, obviously, the reports are that Kyler Murray will be on the move. They are moving on from him. Kirk Cousins seems he'd be on the move, maybe quicker, faster, or sooner, rather than later, maybe this year. And then Dak Prescott, I'm not believing in all the talk yet that they're going to move on from him. I really don't think they're going to move on from him, but it's still possible. You never know, right? Especially after this year. I believe he's going to be owed like $59 million next year or some absurd number.
It's $60 million. He's going to be a $60 million cap hit.
Okay, that's a big. That's big. That's big for. Look, let's face it. He's, like I said yesterday, he's an average to good quarterback that has maybe 2 to 3 great games a year, right? That's what he is. But my question is, I post to everybody who's watching, and I'll post this tomorrow as a poll as well. Which quarterback, or who would you take to start for your team in 2024? If your team was in need of a quarterback for the 2024 season, hypothetically, and obviously, my team might need one. So your team might be good. My team might need one. But if you had to choose, which one of these guys would you want under center to start at the start of the 2024 season?
Shit. I'm taking Dak Prescott.
Really?
I'm taking Dak Prescott. I was never a fan. You know where I stood with Kyler Murray. I thought he was going to be a bust. I thought Cliff Kingsbury was going to be something good to help him out and have some success, but that didn't happen. Kirk Cousins, I was a big fan of Kirk Cousins, but he has continued that mediocrity, and this year he is stinking it up.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this and I'm going, man, if I had a choice, if I could keep the guy upright and put decent weapons around him and put him in a manageable an offense where if I needed a quarterback in Philly and I could run an RPO offense with solid running backs around him and good wide receivers that get open that know how to get open. I don't need him to throw them open. Yeah, I'd take Dak.
See, here's why I would take Kyler Murray, and this is why I wouldn't take the other two guys. I feel like personally, Kyler Murray, if need be, I know we haven't really seen it, but I feel like with a better coach, maybe obviously a better team, not a great team, but a better team, I think Kyler Murray can win you a game. I think if I had to say, like, Kyler Murray, you know what? Our running game is trash. Our defense is not playing well. It's a shootout. Go win this game. And I say that because of his running ability, of his playmaking ability. Playmakers can win you games. The other two dudes, like no, like.
But the other two dudes stay healthy and are on the football field.
Well, I'm saying, well, that's true. That's true. Okay, health matters. I can't even say health. I can't say health. It's not Madden, right? You can't turn off health, right? So I get that. But if you're asking me, if I had to choose, and look, I would just have to bet on health. And like Kyler Murray's injuries, like he had a major one, ACL. It was non-contact. It was one of those ones. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, right? Just one of those weird freak injuries. I think Kyler Murray can win you more games. I think Kyler Murray can win you more games on his own. Like I said yesterday on the show and on the game-winning drive, I fully believe Kyler Murray carried Cliff Kingsbury. It wasn't the other way around. I think like Cliff Kingsbury is never going to find a job in the NFL ever again. He's done. No one's going to touch him unless it's maybe an OC job, possibly. If you can, I mean, he's showing what he can do now at USC. So maybe somebody will be enticed by that, I guess. I'll take him in Pittsburgh, but he's never gonna get a head coaching job. Kyler Murray's gonna start somewhere next year. I don't know where it's gonna be. I have no clue. It's gonna be in Washington. It's gonna be in Atlanta. It's gonna be in Chicago. It's gonna be I don't know. Like Tampa Bay. So many teams that where Kyler Murray could be New York. I don't know. The Giants. Who knows? But Kyler Murray's gonna start next year, and I trust him more because he's gonna win games. The other two guys, man. I just feel like if I say, you know what, we're in a shootout, go win this game. Dak's gonna guarantee throw you 2 picks. Like Dak's guaranteed gonna throw you 2 interceptions, like soul crushing interceptions too. Not just any interception, just one where he's throwing it right to the linebacker because for whatever reason he can't read the guys in front of him. And Kirk Cousins, I just don't think he's a guy that's going to be able to live up to what the moment, right? Kind of similar to Dak. Doesn't live up to the moment. And I feel like Kyler's going to win me more games if he stays healthy. And honestly, I don't think he's shown he doesn't need a crazy team like the other two guys have had in the past to win, right? He's kind of done it on his own with his playmaking ability. So I'm going with Kyler. And I'm going to pull this because, like, you know what? You know who I think is going to win? I think it's going to be Dak. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be Cousins because Cousins is the safest pick, in my opinion, out of these two guys. He's the healthiest, and he may be the most reliable of anything, right? So some are saying Dak easily.
That's Drew.
Drew said that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dak easily. I think Dak. I mean, obviously the team would matter what's around him, but I don't trust Dak winning me any games. I don't trust Dak winning me a football game. I just don't. And then this guy says,
I'll trust Dak over the guy that needs a high chair when he drives. He still needs a booster seat.
I go that. I'm surprised nobody said interesting. Nobody said Cousins. But
I think people are over Kirk Cousins. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think people are over Cousins.
I do too. At this point, he's just a dude who's just, man. If there's anybody that's like hit his ceiling, you can actually see it, visibly see it. It's Kirk Cousins. Like
he hit the ceiling and his head's getting smacked by the ceiling fan right now.
Yeah, he's pretty much done. I think people over Kirk Cousins as well. I think it's time for him to move on. The Vikings to move on from him, right? So I'm looking forward to polling this because I'm interested in seeing. You know what? Recency bias is a hell of a drug, and neither of these guys are. Well, Kyle's not playing, but are playing their best. And someone says, "How about this? I don't like either. I don't like either of them." Hey, that's fine. That's fine. It's a hard pick. It's a hard pick.
Yeah, Drew. This was a tough pick when I got posed this. I was like, damn. Well, who do I take?
I'm going Kyler.
Can I take the backups?
I'll go Kyler. I'll go Kyler for the sake of he's the better playmaker. I trust him more. All right, let's go ahead and get into our week 6 game picks, man. Let's get into week 6. Got some pretty good ones on tap for this one. Well, the Thursday night game again, the game that keeps on giving. The game that keeps on giving, man. It's those Thursday night games. Let's see what we got here. All right, so Thursday night, Prime Video.
Oh, what a wonderful game. God.
This was supposed to be a good, like the NFL. I feel sometimes, I don't feel, no, I never feel bad for the NFL, but sometimes I do feel for them because they do get the matchups correctly, but it for whatever reason.
No, they don't get the matchups correctly. Am I the only person that said Denver wasn't a quarterback away last year when they traded the house for Russell Wilson? Am I the only person that's on an island here saying that I don't give a shit that Sean Payton's there? Denver does not. This is not a team that is going to win that division or even compete to make the playoffs. That Russell Wilson is in the twilight part of his career at this point. Am I the only one that saw this? This can't be real. No, the NFL didn't get this right. They're fools. They're starstruck with Russell Wilson like he is with Stardom and Sierra. I can see your future, and it is no longer a Super Bowl winning quarterback, Russ. God damn.
So I'm guessing you're going Chiefs?
Even if Mahomes wasn't playing, I'm taking the Chiefs. They let the Jets come back and beat them. Nathaniel game plan Hackett came back and got him.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, and another thing is like with the Broncos, they were supposed to have this at the very least. We're supposed to have at least a top 10 defense, maybe top 12, and they're not even doing that. So, and apparently there's a rumor going around where like if things start getting really out of hand, which they will, there's going to be guys on the block. And Russell Wilson was one of those dudes, right? So
who's trading for him?
Hey, look, I didn't say he was going to get traded, but he's one of those dudes.
I'm taking Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, and Kirk Cousins. if he's the last option, nah.
Apparently, everybody's on the block except PS2, which I understand because he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league or corners in the league. All right. Kind of an old school AFC rivalry right here. Ravens at Titans. Who you got?
I'm taking Baltimore. You got to do something, man.
Yeah, man.
You got to do something.
Yeah. No, for real. I'm going Baltimore for the simple fact that I don't want to say it's not a must win because
no, it's a must win because that division you got the Ravens. If I'm not mistaken, the Ravens and Browns are 3-2, and the Steelers and the Bengals are 2-3. So it is that division is much closer.
We're 3-2.
Okay, so then it's the Browns and Bengals are 2-3.
The Browns and Bengals are 2-3.
Yeah.
And the Ravens and Steelers are tied.
Are 3-2. Yeah. So this is a game you have to win. You are playing that weak ass AFC South. You are playing the Tennessee Titans, who Tannehill does not look good at all. It's over. It's done. And they're not confident in the two backups that they have that they drafted.
I don't even know how Tannehill. Yeah, that's telling. It's almost like Tannehill is begging to get benched, and they can't. Because
He's
they don't
like,
have anybody behind them.
He's like, take me out, coach. No, we're not doing that. What
You
we're
can't.
not going, what we're not going to do is put one of these motherfuckers in here. So Vrabel is coaching his ass off right now. The fact that they
No,
got 2 wins is
I
amazing.
mean, and I was about to say, the fact that they have 2 wins is incredible. Actually, it is incredible. So it doesn't feel like a must win for the Ravens to me, but it feels like okay, it's time to get going, right? You're the best team in my opinion in that division. The
Yep.
Bengals have not yet to turn it on, even though it looks like they might be. Like they have to take advantage of this right now. We're not going anywhere. As a Steeler fan, we're not doing anything. So like this is the Ravens' opportunity
Yeah.
right here. All right, 2-3 with Commanders at Falcons.
Look, I'm rooting for Bieniemy, but I knew the wheels were going to come off of this because Sam Howell's not the guy. I didn't like him come out of
No,
North Carolina,
me either. Yeah,
and even though Desmond Ritter isn't the guy for Atlanta, the Falcons have a better team than the Commanders do, in my opinion. So I'm taking Atlanta at home.
I don't want to say I don't understand why they're not tanking the Washington, but if I were them, I would be doing everything I can to be getting the hometown kid Caleb Williams to play in Washington with Eric Bieniemy. I don't understand why they're not. Like, I don't know why that's not the game plan. I don't get it. I would be doing everything in my power to make
To
sure
get
I
that
get the
number
number
one
one.
pick.
Yeah, everything in my power, everything, right? Because Sam Howell ain't the guy. He's not. We all see it. He'll have a couple good games, and they'll say he is, but he's gonna have more duds than good games. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But Desmond Ritter, you and I both shit on him last week, right? And he came back and played well, killed it, right? Virtually killed it. So, man, Falcons could be 4-2. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought the Falcons could be 4-2? I got.
Remember at the beginning of the year, I said Atlanta's a team to watch out for. If it's all gonna be contingent on how Ritter plays.
He wants that starting job. He's holding off a lot of guys. There's a lot of other quarterbacks who are been slotted to take his spot. So we'll see. All right. Battle of these teams. 1-4 Vikings at 1-4 Bears.
I want to take the Bears so bad because I want to believe that Justin Fields is going to be able to do something. I don't want him to look. I don't want him to look as
last two
bad
games.
as he did, but still, the Bears still look bad. The Bears still look bad, and Minnesota, no Justin. I'm taking the Bears on this one reluctantly, but they're at home. I'm going to give them the home cooking. I'm going to take the Bears.
I'm going Bears too because they're at home, and I there's no Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson is out, and without Kirk Cousins is playing, and without his number one receiver, I mean he's going to look even more like a shell of himself. So that's a huge loss. He's going to be out for a while. The Vikings are done. They might as well just pack it and they're finished. I think Kirk Cousins will be gone. Will be traded. I think he should be traded.
They might be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
No, they might be, and I do think they're done. This should be a game the Bears should take and become 2-4. All right, 3-1 Sox at 2-3 Bengals. Interesting one.
Well, look, Cincinnati, like I said, they big winners last week. Burrow looked the best he's looked all season. Cincinnati, this could be a turning point for them. Seattle, does Seattle need this win? I think they do. They were off last week, right?
Seattle's off. Yep.
Yeah, they had a bye week. So I'm taking Seattle on the strength that they had the bye week, and I think Pete Carroll's got a game plan ready. They're going to come in there and they're going to give it to Cincinnati. But make no mistakes, I don't think that if Cincinnati loses this game, it's not going to be by much, and I don't think it's going to hurt them as much because if last week, depending on if Burrow looks the way he did last week, Cincinnati will be right on track.
So you got Cincinnati?
I'm taking Seattle to win this game.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
I don't think it's going to hurt Cincinnati to take this L this week because I think they started to right the ship last week.
Good. Ooh, this was well, I went back and forth on this one even last night when I showed with you guys. I think I got Cincinnati win this one. I think Cincinnati needs to win this to stay afloat in the race in that division, right? I think if they lose this and they go back even more games, if the Ravens win and the Steelers win, they're going to be playing catch up all year, and I don't think they can afford to do that. Um, I do believe that they have the most firepower to do it, but I don't know if they can. I think they need this win. I think this is going to be one of those games where they go off again. I thought this was the game they were going to go off. They were a week early for me. Um, I got Cincy in this game. I think Cincy's going to pull this off. I know Seattle coming across the country, not always great. I got Cincy. All right, let's get Niners Browns.
I mean, are we going to pick the teams or are we going to try picking what the score is going to be in that game?
uh
35-15 San Francisco.
I want to say this last night. I want to say this last night. This could be one of those trap games. Is Deshaun
It
playing?
could be. I don't think so. I don't think Deshaun
Oh, he's not
Watson's
playing.
playing. Let me.
Oh, then Niners are gonna win this game. I thought Deshaun was gonna play. If Deshaun's not playing, then no, I'm not. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Absolutely not. I'm not going there. Deshaun Watson's not playing this game. I think Niners are gonna. Niners they travel very well. Defense travels, running game travels. I got the Niners in this game, especially if Deshaun Watson is not playing. Who are they gonna put in? Deshaun Kaiser? Oh no, not him. No, sorry. What's the guy's name? The guy from UCLA, the guy who everybody was raving about that just looked awful last week. Dolores something Robinson for UCLA. Yeah, he's. I mean, God, the Niners defense is going to just rip him a new one. All right, Saints, Texans.
Yeah, he hasn't practiced all week.
Then he's not playing. Yeah, he's probably not playing. It's probably gonna be the DTR or whatever. Yeah. Saints, Texans.
Oof. The Texans are looking good, man. The Texans are looking good. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Okay. I picked the Saints yesterday. I'm going with the
I
Saints.
picked the Saints too. I picked the Saints too. But you know what? I'm looking at this man. I I think D'Amico Ryans is going to have this team up for this game.
This will be a good catapult for him to be coach of the year. This will be a game that will kind of start that conversation for him to be coach of the year. If he can get this team to 500, CJ Stroud helping him out. How crazy would it be to have the coach of the year and offensive rookie of the year on the same team?
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever happened. And then it looks like that's almost going to happen depending on where the Texans land and end the season. But I'm gonna go.
Well, it looks like I lost my co-host here. Let's see if we could get this guy back. Folks, this is what happens when you use dial-up. And he is completely frozen. Well, just lost Brian. his computer completely shut down on him. So I'm going to see if I could get him to text me his picks while I pull up the rest of the games. So I am now the backup quarterback here. So we did San Francisco, Cleveland. We got Carolina and Miami coming up. B, if you can hear me, text me your picks. So while my co-host went to the abyss, we'll wait to see if we get him back. We got Carolina at Miami as the next game. And in all honesty, there's no reason to pick Carolina. Carolina hasn't won anything. They're not going to win anything. So I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins in that game. I think that's pretty easy. Pretty easy to pick. Brian is trying to come back here, so maybe I'll give him a second to get back here while I continue to live stream. And hey, welcome back, brother. I just picked Miami. I'm like, well, I guess I'll go with this. And since my co-host went to the abyss,
I don't know why. I honestly have no clue what happened. I have no clue. Chargers, my computer's at 100%. No idea what's going on here, but we're back at it. We're good. Technical difficulties, which is why technology will always fail you. So let's go ahead and get this back up here real quick. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for being patient with us. And you picked Miami. Who's Miami playing?
Carolina.
Oh, yeah, Miami. Okay. Next. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So did you pick the Colts Jaguars game?
No, I did not. I did not do that. I'm taking the Jaguars. I know it's a revenge game for Gardner Minshew, but I'm taking Jacksonville.
Yeah, I picked the Colts yesterday. Let me keep that same energy. I'm going. I think this is a game that whoever wins this game is going to have full control of the AFC South.
I will say, take the Colts against the spread.
Yeah, definitely.
Take the Colts.
Yeah.
Take the Colts against the spread. The Colts actually do well in Jacksonville.
Yeah, they play well. They play well in Jacksonville. They do play well in Jacksonville. You know, Jacksonville coming back all the way from London. I'm not sure if their like body clocks are going to be ready to play, even though they're playing at home. I'm going Indy, man. I'm going Indy. I think Gardner Minshew's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I really do. So I'm going Indy, and then I'm going Miami. The Panthers. You know, it's I I still like CJ Stroud over. I'm sorry, I still like Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. I don't care. I get it. CJ Stroud's on a better football team, better coach, the whole nine. The Panthers are a horrible football team.
Yeah.
Like, they're awful. Like, it's going to take a couple years for us to really, I believe, to see the full development of Bryce Young because of how just horrible the team is. Like, so yeah, I'm going Dolphins, but I mean, you can, what's the score gonna be that game? Like 42-7.
Can they put up another 70 spot?
I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Two proud franchises that are literally in the toilet right now. Patriots at Raiders. What you got, Fog?
Shit. I don't even want to pick that game. The Raiders have. I mean, after what's gone on the last two games with the Patriots, I think they've given up like 60 some odd points and have scored three. I got to take the Raiders. Mac Jones isn't it. Obviously, what's his name? Bailey Zappi. He isn't it either. And unfortunately, what we're seeing in New England is what I witnessed and saw in Philadelphia, where the GM and the coach are not on the same page and they're the same fucking person.
Man. So who'd you pick?
Now I'm taking the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders too. I think the Raiders. Yeah, I think there's gonna have to be some changes made in New England. I don't know what they're gonna have to be. Bill Belichick's not getting fired, but there's gonna have to be some changes made at the end of the year. And then I don't think Mac Jones will be the starter of this team next year. I can pretty much easily, confidently say that he will not be the starter. I won't be surprised if the Patriots go into Caleb Williams, Drake May sweepstakes, or whoever they, Michael Penix Jr. something. Right? They're gonna get a quarterback next year. They will draft a quarterback in the first round. I'm telling everyone right now, they will draft a quarterback. Mac Jones is not the guy. He's done. If they brought Bill O'Brien back to at least help. I know they don't have the personnel. I get it, but he just looks bad. He looks bad. Mac Jones does not look good. He's not mobile. He can't make plays. Nothing. He can't do anything in the pocket.
Well, they don't have the personnel because, like I said, Bill Belichick.
And Bill Belichick,
the GM, has sabotaged Bill Belichick, the coach. And
Bill Belichick has always been overrated as a GM, as a player scout, and I've said that for like at least 10 years. And I've always said he's always gotten guys that would suit Tom Brady. That's who that would suit Tom Brady. Nobody else but him, right? And yeah, I definitely agree with you with that, 100%. All right. Lions, Bucks. Talk about two surprising teams of the year. 4-1 Lions at the 3-1 Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay, I'm surprised at. The Lions,
you're right. The Lions,
I picked them to win that division.
You're right.
And I'm going with the Lions. They're going to come roaring in there because I don't believe in Tampa Bay. I don't care. Come on. Baker Mayfield's the quarterback too.
No, I agree. I think the Lions go in 5-1, and the Buccaneers will start to kind of coming back down to earth, and they will be also in the quarterback Caleb Williams sweepstakes as well.
They will.
Yeah. So again, got the Lions in that 1-4 Cardinals at 2-3 Rams.
Look, gotta take the Rams. Cardinals are in the sweepstakes too. They're going to move off of Kyler Murray. So, yeah,
this seems like a must-win for the Rams to save their season, to stay afloat of the wild card at least. They lose this game, they're done. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're pretty much done. They're done, right? But hey, it's amazing how they out of nowhere they found possibly a pretty good 1-2 punch in Nakua and Cooper Kupp, right? So we'll see where that goes in the future. But yeah, I think the Rams win this game. It's in SoFi. Cardinals are always going to be a tough out, but they're still not a good team. The Rams should win this game. All right, this game all of a sudden got a little interesting, only because the Jets won, right? Because it easily could have been 1-4. Easily could have been 1-4, but 5-0 Eagles against the 2-3 Jets. Who you got?
I'm taking the Eagles in this game. They have to win this, and here's why I say they have to win this, because you look at that Monday night game. And remember what I said about that. Dallas can still win and make the playoffs. I just don't trust that trash-ass star to do anything when they get to the playoffs. But here's why Philly has to win this game. This is a must-win. They need to go 6-0 because, Brian, guess what? The stretch of the next 8 games for Philly, they're at Washington. Washington played them tough at home. Now, I know Washington is spiraling out of control right now, but divisional games are always divisional games. Regardless of how shitty that divisional team may be, They always play tough. You're in Washington. You host Dallas. You're in Kansas City. You host Buffalo. You host San Francisco. You're in Dallas.
Wow.
You're in Seattle. Though this next stretch of games,
Wow.
8 games, Philadelphia could fuck around and wind up being 4-4.
Wow.
They really could. Now Dallas still has to go through a bit of a gauntlet themselves. I think they still got to play Kansas City and Seattle as well. But
Whew.
what Philly has to go through right now, this is a must win for them, especially if they want to keep up with San Francisco.
It's all about between San Francisco and the Eagles and Philly. It's all about home field advantage.
Yes.
It's all about home field advantage. And even though look, I can confidently say that if they had brought Purdy last year, they would win that game, but they didn't. So, but having home field advantage does help. Man, yeah, that's a gauntlet. Good Lord, I didn't even know that.
That is a
I didn't even know they played the Niners. So they're going head to head.
Oh yeah.
So that's gonna be like, that's gonna be a game.
And they're going head to head after they play Miami and Buffalo.
Shit. Well, yeah, so if anything,
they got Miami, Buffalo, and Kansas City all before they play San Francisco.
We're gonna, if anything, just that 4-game stretch alone, we're gonna figure out who the Eagles are.
Yeah.
That's an incredible stretch. That's an incredible stretch. Wow. All right. I'm gonna go. You know what? Nah, never mind. I want to say the upset. No, never mind. I'm going Eagles. Nah. You know what's funny about that? It's funny because I was like, you know what? I can see an upset, but then literally Zach Wilson's face popped up in my head, and I was like, nope, never mind. No. Nope. No. Hell no. He said Zach Wilson this game up. And dude, one other thing I will say that I love watching, Jalen Carter, man. It's just a freaking
bro.
The fact that this guy fell 10 spots into the lap of a defense that was already dominant. We're going to be talking about Jalen Carter, in my opinion, the way we talk about, and this is going to sound crazy, but I don't care. I'm going to say it because the way he plays, it's like him. We're going to talk about him like we talk about Aaron Donald.
Honestly, that's listen. I thought he was the best player coming out of the draft, and when he had the pro day that he had, I was just like, how the fuck does that happen? And that's that's the reason he dropped. They said he looked gassed. I'm like, but again, with everything that happened with the car accident,
the court,
and that might have been a significant stressor for him.
Absolutely.
Because they said he gained like 14 or 15 pounds from the combine to the pro day. So you know what? That may have been just a case of circumstances, and those teams that let him drop, you fucked up.
Jesus. I can't believe. How about 9 or 10 spots? 9 spots?
9 spots, because he was supposed to be the first or second pick, and Philly got him at 10.
Unbelievable. Best player. Let's just give him the defensive rookie of the year award now, so we can get it over with. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, but also I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna give you some props real quick before we move on to the next game. Devin Witherspoon, that's your guy. Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog. Devin Witherspoon for the Seattle Seahawks is definitely a dog. I like watching him a lot.
I told you that my biggest concern with him was injuries because of how violent he plays.
Yeah.
If he wasn't injury prone, I said this when we were talking about the draft. My top 5 corners coming out in the draft, Witherspoon would have been easily, hands down, number 1 over Christian Gonzalez, and Gonzalez is no slouch by any means.
He's playing well too. No, he's balling too. He's going to be really good for the Patriots for a long time. So I agree with that. All right, last game. Dallas at Chargers in SoFi. It is the Kellen Moore Bowl. I like to
Oh,
call
we
it.
just said fuck Buffalo and the Giants.
Oh damn! My fault. Both. Well, look. Who you got? And Daniel Jones. Not that it matters. I don't think he's playing. I think it's gonna be my man Tyrod. My man Tyrod's been in the league for like Tyrod been in the
I feel
league
like he's been in the league for 100 years.
like literally is still getting jobs. What's good for him? He's still collecting checks. But who you got?
Look,
Giants.
it's Buffalo. It was fine to skip over that game. Wait, what's it?
I literally didn't see it. I didn't see the game. My fault. My fault, Giants fans. Yeah. I got Buffalo. I do got Buffalo. All right. Cowboys at Chargers. Like I said, the Kellen Moore Ball. Kellen Moore faces his old team that fired him. Who you got?
I gotta go with the Cowboys. The Cowboys you have to come back from that
Yeah.
annihilation that occurred. You really got completely embarrassed on national television, and now you're on national television again.
Yeah.
Against the Chargers, and the Chargers don't look good, man. Let's be honest. You can't screw put it this way: if Dallas blows this game, if the Chargers beat the Cowboys, then Mike McCarthy has to get fired.
Really? Like that day, or like?
Oh, that day! Don't even let that man on the plane. If I'm ownership, I'm like, nah, bro, you done.
Nah, I don't think he is. I don't know.
You struggled, so you couldn't do it with Aaron Rodgers. You only saw the Super Bowl once with Aaron Rodgers, and here you are with a quarterback that isn't Aaron Rodgers. You have in all honesty, you have better personnel, offensive personnel, than you did when you were the head coach of the Packers with Rodgers, and you still can't get it done.
Are we sure about that?
On the offensive side of the ball?
I don't know about that. I don't know if the Green Bay Packers. I don't know. I feel like Green Bay was pretty stacked offensively. Like I'm just thinking of some guys, like obviously Aaron Rodgers. Who's the backs? They had Greg Jennings, receiver wise, Jordy Nelson. I think Donald Driver was there. The line was pretty good. I forget who the backs were. I think it was like some dude, some random. I forgot his name, like Ryan Grant, something like that. And they have Aaron Jones. I think that. Look, I'm not. Like I said, like I said yesterday in game winning drive. I'm not mad at what he's trying to do. I'm not mad at his philosophy of running the football. I'm not mad at it at all because I get that you don't want Dak throwing the ball 40 times a game because that's almost equal. That's almost going to guarantee you like 2 picks. I understand you wanted to run the football more and to also help your defense out by getting them plenty of rest, make sure they're fresh. I get it. But they don't have the personnel. They don't have the running back.
But they never had the personnel. He's never been even in Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers.
He had Aaron Rodgers and was able to get away with it.
Right.
But he never had the running backs. He was always failing with his running backs. Do you know he only had a top 10 rushing offense twice during his tenure, and one of those was when he went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
So he struggles with the running game and running backs, and let's call it like it is. You let Zeke go and brought no replacement in, thinking Pollard was going to take the pound.
Bad move. No. I mean, it's a bad move. Bad personnel move on him and the Cowboys. But I man, it's just his philosophy is on point. I get it because I think Dak is a damn near game manager too, but you don't have the running game. Like if you had a strong running game with that defense, they'll be okay. But they don't have that.
Nope.
They don't have that. So, but in terms of this game, this seems like a must-win for the Chargers too. Because like, man, Chargers go 2-3. Does Brandon Staley come back? Like, do you let Brandon Staley back in the building? I don't think 2-3 is not what this team expected to be. I think there's more pressure on the Chargers.
There is.
Than the Cowboys.
But I think if they lose this game, I don't think Staley gets the hell that he should get because it's Dallas. if it was the Giants going into L.A. and playing the Chargers and the Giants won that game,
Then
yeah,
yeah,
then you don't even let
then
Brandon
maybe yeah.
stay. You have security escort his ass off of the fucking field. You don't wait till the clock hits 0. You get him out of there.
Yeah. I know this seems more like a must win for the Chargers. I'm going to the Chargers. I think they have to win this game. I don't think Dallas has to win this game. Um, but I think they
If
have to.
Philly is up 6-0, they beat the Jets and they go up 6-0. Dallas has to win this game because again, like I said, Philly's got that hellacious stretch
Yeah.
that they're going to have. But again, the Cowboys don't have it. It's not an easy run for them either. They played it after the Chargers. They've got the Rams. Then they go to Philly. They play the Giants. They play the Panthers, which is all good. They get the Commanders, but then you got the Seahawks, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, and then you get the Dolphins and the Lions on the back end. So Dallas has a back end stretch where you're looking at it and going, damn, you got the Bills, Dolphins, and Lions all back to back,
Shit.
and the Seahawks. So you get the Seahawks. When Philly comes off of their stretch, Dallas goes into theirs with Seattle, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Miami, and Detroit.
So you got Dallas.
Yeah, I'm taking Dallas. Dallas has to win this game.
I think okay. So I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm gonna say I think Chargers. I think the Chargers have to win this game because the Chargers easily could be 1-4, or at least 1-3.
Yeah,
because they got away with some games this year. They could easily be at least 1-3 right now. So yeah, that this game is gonna be more interesting than we think. I think we're gonna figure out a lot about these teams at the end of that game in Monday Night Football. All right, I want to we're college football guys, and there's a couple games that I wanted to talk about real quick. Particularly this one, USC going to South Bend, Notre Dame. Obviously, Caleb Williams is in this game. Obviously, he's going on the road, probably biggest road test he's going to have this year. Well, one of the biggest road tests he's going to have this year. Well, this year, Bog, you got USC, Notre Dame.
Bro, I would have picked Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't believe in USC. Their defense. There is no defense. There is no defense. It is a wooden fence that is getting knocked over no matter who they play against. There is absolutely no defense when it comes to them. But Notre Dame
I tell people
there's no offense.
There's no offense.
If there's no defense in USC, there's no offense in Notre Dame. And let's be honest with you. Regardless of how poorly USC's defense is, this is still going to turn into somewhat of a shootout. And guess who's going to win that shootout? USC.
And I'm telling you right now, on top of that, I'm going to say this. I was going to tweet this later, either tomorrow or at some point. Marcus Freeman, welcome to the hot seat. You lose this game, you go 5-3. I think this would be their third straight loss, I believe. Look, you know what really hurt him is only having 10 guys on the field against Ohio State. That's a stench. Notre Dame fans, and I can say this because I am friends with some Notre Dame fans here. So, and they are very in tune and tapped with Notre Dame. They lose this game. Yeah. Marcus Freeman may be looking for another job pretty soon. I'll tell you right now, because they're not going to have this. I know you just got there, but it's the fact that how he's losing, how he started, and then how he's losing.
Well, again, you barely beat Duke. Yeah, I don't know where Duke came from. I don't know where they came from, but you barely beat them on the road. Granted, it's 2 tough road games.
Crushed by Louisville.
but yeah, you got smacked by
Crushed by
Louisville
Louisville.
after that Duke game. Now you're coming home, but you're coming home and it's not getting any easier. Now you got USC.
And I've been saying this for a while. The guy who is keeping his eyes close on this game is Urban Meyer. This is his dream job. Notre Dame it's been a job he's been wanting for a while. He wanted it before he got the Florida job. He didn't get the Notre Dame job. They gave it to somebody else. I think they gave it to Brian Kelly. He was pissed off about it. He's available now. Marcus Freeman's in the hot seat. If Notre Dame will call Urban Meyer, not next week or anything, but they will fire Marcus Freeman. I do believe that. They will let him go, and they will hire Urban Meyer. If Urban Meyer is interested in the job,
Yeah.
they'll ask him. They'll say, "You interested in it?" He's gonna say yes because that's his dream job. They're gonna say, "Thank you very much, Marcus Williams or Freeman. Goodbye,
Yep. Here's your pink
Notre
slip.
Dame." Here's your pink slip. One more game because I know you like this guy. I'm gonna scroll up to it real quick. I know you like him. He's your guy.
Oof, God.
Oregon, Washington. Game of the week, in my opinion.
It
Over
is.
USC. Over USC, Notre Dame. Who you
It
got
is.
for this one?
I've
Well,
gone
actually,
back.
both of these guys are your guys. Two of them. Like Bo Nix and P. Nix Jr. Who you got for this one? Top 10 matchup in the Pac-12.
God. Because it's in Washington, I'm going to give the slight edge to Washington. I think Penix Jr. is the better quarterback as well. But if Oregon wins this game, Oregon runs the table. They've got the best defense.
Really?
I think Oregon has the best defense out of any of these Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And defense wins championships. Defense wins games, and Oregon's got a much better defense. If they can get Penix Jr. to turn the ball over one or two times, that one or two turnovers could be the difference in this game. I'm going to take Washington, but
Dan Lanning, man.
Fuck.
Dan Lanning has his team playing. This is a different. I will admit this. This is a different Oregon team that we're used to seeing when it came to like the offense and the flash and the high power up. This is a different Oregon team. He's bringing that Georgia. He's bringing that SEC Georgia toughness to the Pac-12. And I agree that defense is different. It's different. It's really good, and they can run the ball as well. Bo Nix isn't having to do much, so there's that. You know, I got Oregon in this one. I got Oregon winning this one. I got Oregon going to Seattle and beating Washington. Even though Penix Jr. his draft stock is just flying through the roof right now at this point. But yeah, I got Oregon in this game. This is gonna be one of my favorite ones to watch this week. Definitely will be. I got Oregon in this one.
Oh yeah, listen. I got the kid with me. I told him. I said we're not doing any. We're watching football this weekend. We're watching football on Saturday.
I gotta love it. Hey, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Appreciate it, and staying with us through that technical difficulty. Appreciate it with Keith, Drew, and Kevin Oliver. Appreciate you guys coming through once again, and make sure you guys please subscribe to our pages. Obviously, with Objectively Biased Sports with the Fog, he's gonna have his power rankings and stuff like that. I'm gonna have my tweets. I'm gonna have my Heisman. I'm actually going to finally have my Heisman list. It is set up and ready to go. I'll be dropping that this week before the games on Saturday. My top 5 Heisman guys, and then I'm gonna be dropping my top 4 playoff teams this week. Coming up after these games, I want to watch these games first before I drop that, and I'll be dropping my top 4 playoff teams on BZ Sports and Entertainment. Really, really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll be back next week, Wednesday, same time, same place, same everything, man, same 2 beautiful faces, and we'll see you guys next week.